Rodney Allen, President of Global Officeworks Virtual Assistants. I'm a Business Blueprint member and I happen to live in the Philippines for the last 12 years in a little coastal village called Dauin, about 25 minutes south of Dumaguete. A few members have asked me to provide some local knowledge about tips and things to do while they're here and where to eat, where to stay, team building activities. A lot of information already provided in Dale's Moby Mag, so I recommend you definitely look that up. But I'll add some local flavor to that as well. First one is gifts. We call that here pasalubong, and it's kind of a culturally expected thing that when you come, you're going to bring some pasalubong, some gifts. You know, of course, generally speaking, I always say, if you want to give your Filipino virtual assistant something, give them cash. But in this case, since you're taking the time to visit them, then I'd say bring something, some mementos from your own country. You know, whether it's something like some small stuffed koalas or kiwis, some local chocolate, fridge magnets, you know, some memento from there. Even Bundaberg rum. They love to drink the local rum here, and to show off with their friends that they've got some Australian rum, that'd be pretty huge too, if you can get that through customs. For accommodation, for all of these suggestions, you can search Agoda, Booking.com or Google, and you can find your way to the resorts and book them yourselves. They all typically know me, so if you want to throw out my name, probably won't get you any discount. But I think a few of them in the Moby Mag we've already arranged with places like Pura Vida to get a business blueprint discount anyway. So the big question is, should you stay in the city or the beach? Some of the work activities that we're going to be doing will be in Dumaguete, so that is an option. If you just want to stay close to where those activities are, then you might want to stay in the city. However, unless you're a real city person, Dumaguete, it's no Sydney, Melbourne, Auckland. It's dirty, it's hot, it's crowded, it's lots of traffic, it's not walkable, and I don't think you want to travel across the world to stay in a place like that. But that's my personal opinion, which is why I've lived 20 minutes away on the beautiful beach in Dauin. So if you choose Dauin, that's where I can help you, because I know all about that. Dauin offers all levels of beachfront accommodation with prices from about $75 through to $500 per night for nice resorts on the beach. They also have accommodation in Dauin for your team that's in that $20-$30 a night range, more backpacker friendly accommodation. So if you're going to put up your team and you want them within a couple of minutes walk from where you're staying, so you can have dinner and social events and meet them for team building, all that kind of stuff. Moby Mag's lists, they're all great resorts, what Moby Mag lists, but they're spread out, and if you're going to move around, you're going to need to organize transportation, which is pretty hard. There is public local transportation that's easy. You walk up to the highway, you get on a crowded bus, or sit in a Filipino jeepney. If you want that experience, it's available. Otherwise, we'll have to, through your resort, you have to organize van transportation, private van, which is best if you're a group. It's more cost effective if you're a group. So the resorts in Dauin that I'm recommending are all from one end to the other of downtown Dauin. It's about a 10-minute beach walk, and a lot of these resorts are within 2-3 minutes walk along the beach to each other. So if your friends and other Business Blueprint members are in the next resort, easy to meet up, easy to obtain transportation, easy to hang out together. So some suggestions, and again, look these up on the internet or Agoda or Booking.com. So Mike's Beach Resort, it's called Mike's Dauin Beach Resort. It's got like 12 rooms. It's moderate, mid-range, certainly not luxuries, but nice enough. And next door to that is Pura Vida, which is a step up from Mike's, and it's also likely to be where the big party is going to be at. It's the best venue for the big party, so it'd be nice to be staying there or very close to there, so you don't have to deal with any transportation back to the city or anything like that. That's called Pura Vida Beach and Dive Resort. 5 minutes north along the beach is Sierra Resort Dauin, not to be confused with Sierra Resort in Dumaguete, which is the same owner. It's just a sister resort. Both of them are good. It's actually a good choice in Dumaguete, and it might be where we're going to have some conference activities in the Dumaguete Sierra Resort. And the last one in this little area is Atlantis Resort. As I said, they're all good. Other choices are good. These are just close together. And they all offer food and restaurants, but it also gives you an opportunity to just walk 5 minutes if you want to go to a different place for lunch, if you are staying outside of the planned business blueprint activities. So as far as your team, if your team don't live in Dumaguete, you bring them from outside and you want them to stay near you in Dauin, a couple of other choices. There is Citas Beach Resort. That's actually where I live, and they have rooms here starting at about 1,000 pesos, like 25 Australian dollars. There's even a little bit cheaper than that at Amigos, Dauin Hostel, and Bongo Divers. Again, all within a couple of minutes walk from the resort that you'll probably be staying in. If you want some restaurants outside of the business blueprint activities, again, walking distance to these places, you've got Sandbar. It's up on the highway. It's a great local hangout. I actually play guitar, so I play music in a band there every Saturday night. It's kind of the local place, and great food there. There's another one on the beach, really between these resorts that I've just mentioned, called Frontomar Pizzeria. It's owned by an Italian guy. Good to hang out on the beach, have some handcrafted beers and pizza. And a little bit further south is Mabuhay Dauin, which is owned by Korean. It's got exceptional Korean food. You can Google all these places, they're easy to find. So, tourist team building activities around Dauin. Number one choice, which you have to do it, is diving or snorkeling. And you can do those together. If you're on a boat and only one person wants to go diving and 10 want to go snorkeling, it's all good. Although I am certified to dive, I don't dive very much, and often if I have friends coming that want to dive, I just take my snorkel and I sit. The water is so clear that they're 25 meters below you and you're on a snorkel, and you just sit and you can watch them and you can watch the fish, and you're just sitting right above them. So assuming your team can swim a little bit and they enjoy snorkeling, I recommend diving, snorkeling. Your resort can organize that. If you're going to do a half day, because we don't have a lot of time, there's lots of what we call house reefs around Dauin, where you might get in the boat, ride 5-10 minutes, and beautiful coral reefs with lots of fish just offshore. Plenty of opportunity to do that. Just ask your resort about it. If you're going to do a full day adventure, like you leave at 8 o'clock, get back about 4, you'll go across, depending on the size and speed of the boat, it's about 60 to 90 minutes to go across to world-renowned Upper Island. Definitely a must-do if you're a diver and have a full day, and if you're not a diver, there's lots of great snorkeling over there as well. So that's the diving. Other things, there's some sightseeing nature trips. The resorts can organize a van for you. A private van fits 12 to 16 people, so you can regroup with other business blueprint members and fill up the van and go do these activities together. For a full day, if you're staying in Dauin, it just gets a bit far if you're staying from Dumaguete, but if you're staying in Dauin, Lake Balinsasayao is by far my favorite. It's in the neighboring town of Chaton. Takes about 90 minutes to get there, but it's a very, very scenic drive that you can explore some of the Philippine countryside. And once you get there, there's like a 30-45 minute fairly easy hike along the lake flat to get to a swimming waterfall area. If you don't want to hike, you can take a boat you get a little bunker boat with a boat guy that paddles you across the lake. That's kind of fun too, and that takes you, so it's only like a 5 to 10 minute walk up to the waterfall, or you can just go hang out on the lake. There's lots of things to do at Balinsasayao that can either involve exercise, activity, adventure, or just hanging out, riding boats, sitting on the lake. There's a nice restaurant there. It's one of my favorite spots in the area, but it is a full day. Half day activities in Dauin are, beach volleyball. Just ask your resort to set up beach volleyball. Your team will come over from wherever they're staying, and they will really enjoy beach volleyball. You can also, if you've just got a couple of hours, and all this, again, look it up on Google, or feel free to message me and I can help you, and I might even be able to take you if my schedule allows. But just 15 minutes away from where you're staying, Dauin, there's Baslay, natural hot springs. And when I say natural, there's a kind of a path that leads down the cliff to get to the river, and then you just lie in the river, and it's beautiful natural hot springs. When I go there once or twice a month, I love it. Next to that is the Baslay coffee plantation, which has also got a big viewing tower where you can overlook the beach resorts and the ocean and Upper Island. That's a cool couple of hour little jaunt. For adventure seekers, if you and or any of your team members are really into thrill seeking, there's a little semi-secret place that you won't probably even find on Google, but I'm happy to take you. It's in Valencia. It's called Toten Falls. It's from Dauin or Dumaguete. It's a 15-20 minute drive, and then it's about a 20-minute steep. If you're physically fit, you can do it, but it's a steep trail down to the river, and then there's cliff jumping, and it's just a beautiful little swimming hole. It's if you think of tropical Philippines, beautiful waterfall, then this is what's in your mind. But again, it's only for strong swimmers, and your virtual assistants may not be swimmers, so check with them before you decide to go to Toten Falls. But again, one of my favorite places. I go there monthly. If you're not into the adventure, activity, exercise, you can get the van and take a half-day tour to Tambobo Bay. There's some lunch spots around there. My favorite is a little resort called Cuckoo's Nest. You'll want to call ahead if you're a group to make sure that they can accommodate you, which they typically can, especially if it's not on weekends. The Offshore Accelerator program, by the way, is during the absolute height of low season. You might get a little bit of rain, but it's not going to be a problem. So you don't have to freak out about booking too early. This is low season, so there's not a lot of tourists here anyway because of just opening up after COVID. So you'll be able to get in and do all these things at last minute. The resorts will be glad to accommodate you. So that's if you're staying in Dauin. If you are staying in Dumaguete, there's another option for a beautiful mountain lake called Twin Lakes. And it's about 90 minutes north, almost 90 minutes north of Dumaguete. Once you're there, absolutely beautiful, great hikes, or just sitting at the restaurant overlooking the lake and the beauty. The problem that I have with that is you've got to drive through. For the first hour is just driving through the suburbs of Dumaguete, so it's not as scenic as the one in the south, Lake Balinsasayao. But good choice. A full day, or 3/4 of a day, if you're in Dumaguete, is Manjuoyd, Sandbar, and dolphin watching. It's a real popular place for Filipinos to go. So your team will love it. If they haven't been there before, they'll be so excited to go there. For Aussies and Kiwis, that we have beautiful beaches and nature and dolphin watching in our country, not a big deal. It'll be a cultural experience for you, but it'll be like, yeah, whatever. But you will enjoy your VAs, watching them have fun with that. If you're in Dumaguete, just looking for things to do with your team, there's another half day or just maybe 3 hours or so, Red Rock Hotsprings and Waterfall up in Valencia. Again, your van will be able to take you there. It's right on the beaten track. It's in the guidebooks, and all the tourists go there. Beautiful place, but just pretty touristy. Same with Casarora Waterfalls. Absolutely big, beautiful waterfall. Great to see. Once you get to the drop-off trailhead, it's about a 30-minute steep, lots of stairs, hike down to it. So you have to have some physical ability, but if you can manage that, hike down and then back up, great to see. And again, if you're in Dumaguete, go take your team to a karaoke bar. It's the number one thing about the Filipino culture that I can't stand, and I never partake, even with my team, but they love it. And sitting around, having a few drinks, listening to them sing badly in the karaoke, it's a really good bonding, team building experience for you to bond with them, and I totally recommend it, even if you hate the sound of people singing badly. So a couple of things for you Blueprint members about what to do that I recommend. The first is it's so cheap to have spa, massages, manicure, pedicure. The quality is unbelievable. I have an absolutely fantastic massage therapist come to my house and give me a 1.5 hour massage every week for about $12. Spas are a little bit more expensive than that, but so what? You might pay $20 or $30 to have a nice spa in a commercial spa. Do that. Take advantage of that. Another thing, we have absolutely world-class dentists. So if you have any major dental work that's needed, get a hold of me. I'll connect you with my dentist who's trained in the US. All her equipment is first world, first class. She's fantastic. And about 10% of what you're going to pay in Australia or New Zealand. So allow some time for that. Another thing you could do is Filipino cooking classes. You could do that with your team. You could Google that, or Dale's assistant Carlo is a renowned chef, and he's the guy that can connect you with that. I think that'd be a fun team building activity to get to know your team. I personally think this opportunity for Offshore Accelerator, my personal view is that you should be spending your time having fun, bonding with your team, rather than sitting in an office training them. The only training I think you should do is if there's any training that really you've been unable to do virtually, then sure, take the time and do that. But otherwise, it's all about building your relationship with your VA. That's a cultural thing, and when they get to know you and love you personally, they probably already love you from your relationship virtually, but it just adds that additional layer that will add a lot more loyalty and security and just a better relationship. So go have fun while you're here, and they will enjoy that as well. Lastly, there's some options that I think are a great idea, which can involve, it'll handle the bonding and relationship building, and also it's great social responsibility activities. A couple of ideas I have, there's an orphanage. It's called Little Children of the Philippines Foundation. You can Google that, or again, I can connect you to the owner-manager of the orphanage. It's in the Dumaguete area, so it's a residential shelter which aims to give hope for children who are abused, neglected, and at risk. The website's littlechildren.org, and it's just a great opportunity if you're looking for a social impact opportunity while you're here. And those kind of things directly, if you give any donation in time or money, that directly gives to the recipients, not through some third party that takes 90% for administration. We also have if you're an animal lover, there's a local Dumaguete animal shelter. It's called Dumaguete Animal Sanctuary. You can find them on Facebook, and I have friends that are volunteering there, so I can connect you there if you want to spend an hour or two or half a day working with the animals there. Lastly, Moby Bag recommends some really fun full-day activities in Cebu Island. That's the adjoining island, and they're great. I've done them all. Things like canyoneering, whale shark watching. These are really fun experiences, but bear in mind that the logistics are a lot harder than if you stay closer to home. You'll spend a lot more time in the car waiting for ferries, because you've got to take the car and the ferry to another island, and it's a lot more driving and a lot less doing, but it's a good option. So I hope that helps, and if you want to privately message me to ask me more details about any particular activity, I'm more than happy to help. I'm going to make myself available throughout the whole Offshore Accelerator to kind of be a local guide, so to speak. So if ever you want to either see if I can take you somewhere, jump in your van and go somewhere with you, or ask additional tips. If you're a mountain biker, I love to mountain bike, and I can take you for a couple of hours up the mountain straight out of Dauin. I live on the beach, I get on my bike from my home and ride up the hill, and off I go mountain biking. We live right at the foot of a big volcanic mountain called Mount Pinas, so there's all kinds of mountain trekking and biking activities to do. There's lots to do here, and I sincerely hope that you come and you have a fantastic time. We'll see you soon. Bye.